Blog Talk Radio. Today is Monday, July 2nd, 2012, and if you're listening now, then you are listening to Straight Talk with your host, this intellectual Kate Taylor, and her co-host, the enduringly amazing and heart of my heart, much adored rock star of HTLA, Christopher Crash Jesus Taylor. This is HTLA Radio 1, the world's best talk radio on the world's first all brilliantly exceptional, all utterly original talk entertainment programming ever.
Or it's free.
Yeah, he always says that now. I think it's cute. It's very cute. So tonight we've got our Independence Day special for you. We've got hubby and I, and it's the State of the State address. We had originally hoped to get Roger Smith on. He's a thriller author that the Washington Post is just raving about this guy's book. He's actually, though, on holiday in Thailand and just couldn't make the connection for the show. So we're going to have him on a future episode. And tonight, we actually, at night in bed, at night before we go to sleep, we listen and watch, our shows. And one of them is Bill Maher, and we get a big kick out of that. And given that it's Independence Day on Wednesday, we decided maybe we should give our own State of the State address.
Oh, no, they didn't.
Yeah, we used to be involved a little bit in the politics with a satire show that I had written called. It was supposed to spoof the upcoming elections.
It did.
Elections. Yeah,
it did.
Right. So, that was quite involving though, and it had started a little too early in development. And,
then it went a little too long.
Yeah, it lost its steam, and over time. And I did say though, the last 8 months or so before the election is when we should push it, but nobody ever listened.
Yes, and had we been working with professionals, we would have had it for you now.
That is very true. That is very true also. But the American Players is a comedy troupe of our founding, and we do love our members. Just some of the cast members for this particular project didn't work out. Anyway, hi. So make sure, though, that you keep your iTunes, tablets, and browsers locked in with us, because we're also going to, just talk about whatever's popping into our head. And if you don't have it recorded, you're going to miss it forever. So.
And we'll likely forget it if we don't record
it. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So, but, normally we go on about, new stuff here, like what's going on with the websites and our other projects. And, Hubby, that's your cue.
Oh, sure. Well, thank you for the cue, Kate. And Fierce Kitty Omni Media.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
It is usually my turn to talk about all things websites.
Yes, and projects.
Since when did I become like the website guru?
Since you manage those areas at the companies, not me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well...
part of the COO job that you...
Well, some of the things we're going to talk tonight, actually, are some of the things that we're got flying on the box right now, actually.
Yes, the box is flying, isn't it?
Yes. If a website were ever to fly,
and we can announce the domain name now. Which
we can. That'll be the. We'll save that for the last segment of the show so that these people don't tune out and go away.
Oh, okay. Sounds good to me.
So hold on to your butts. That's coming up. It's really, it is flying, gotta say. But no, you know, I've been busy with the redesign of HTLA 973.com, of course. Pretty much got all the bugs worked out of that. Got the kinks straightened out there a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. That'll do it. And
it's beautiful, the sexy new layout.
Well, it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm not gonna say beautiful. I don't know. Maybe we can get some listener mail in on this, but it's not really ringing my bell. I don't know what it is. You know, I think the graphics are too big. I think I don't know. I think there's, well, with anything, there's room for improvement. So I'm going to leave it at that. But Kate certainly likes it, and I hope that all of our listeners, followers, fans, and psychos like it too. So yeah, I've worked out pretty much all the bugs with it, and fixed her all up there, and she's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Still got to do a couple of more kind of back end things, you know, make it a little easier to listen to the broadcasts. Still doing preparations for live streaming, which is something we're definitely wanting to get to this year. So that's all kind of in the works back there too. So yeah, you know, it's coming along. But I managed to tie it in really tight with Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and all that good stuff. There's an RSS feed there now on the front page right at the top. You can just hit that and get all the stories and broadcasts and everything plunked right in your old email box there. So it couldn't be easier, really.
That's right.
You know?
Keep up on all of our new happenings and hooplas that we always come up with.
What exactly are hooplas?
I think it's like hootenannies.
Well, sure, but do we have those?
Don't we? I think we do. I think, if anything, we are the couple reigning over the hootenannies.
Oh, okay.
And the hooplas.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
We don't want to say hyperbole. Hyperbole.
There's a word.
I always pronounce it wrong, too. Hyperbole. Yeah. I am a very educated writer.
All righty. Well, now that I've got the stage for a moment here, I think it's time to take care of some station business, guys. So, yeah. Tonight's Straight Talk is, of course, as always, sponsored and brought to you by Logitech. Yes, for some of the great gear that we use in our studio here, and even greater gear that we don't use in our studio here that they sell over there. You can check out Logitech.com for all the latest and greatest in your gadget toys. They're awesome there. Also, Kimber America, KimberAmerica.com.
Yes, stay tuned for my commercial.
There's a very sexy commercial coming up here in the next 20 minutes with hers truly, belting out some fierce kitty for your armament needs. And you know, Viagra. You know, we're not embarrassed to say it. We are you know, brought to you by Viagra.
Yes, we love Viagra. Not that we have a need for Viagra, but we know that there's millions of men out there who feel they do, and generally, in my opinion, and you'll have to tune in to Sex and the Kitty on Friday to see if you agree.
Oh.
It's all in their heads. You know, they just need to relax.
Of course.
Yeah.
And as always, by the fine family of products and services through Fierce Kitty Omnimedia.
Yay! Meow.
There you go. To keep up with all the news and happenings, you can visit for yourself at HTLA973.com.
All right. Thank you. Yes, and let's mention some of your wonderful stuff, because I have to say... Oh, wait a second. Did I miss my favorite line?
I don't know. Did you?
I don't know. I don't know. Did I?
Well,
saying that my favorite line of all time is that tonight's show is powered by ProCast. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. I've been running around like a chicken without my head, trying to cook for the barbecue Wednesday.
A chicken soup without your bonbons.
That's right. I just put chicken soup. I had to make homemade bonbons. I'm sitting there rolling the bonbons with two hands, trying to get them done before airtime. And for those of you that don't know, you can also, on thefiercekitty.com, find my Kate's Cooking section. And there's actually the bonbon soup there that I had made over the winter. But they're like Italian matzo balls. So it's just, farina, Parmesan cheese, parsley, eggs.
Anyway, to check out all that crazy stuff, you can go to thefiercekitty.com.
Right, yes.
It's her official fan site and the place where she likes to throw her farina balls.
That's right.
But also where you'll find the Fierce Kitty Omnimedia family of products and productions. You can follow her on Twitter at FierceKittyKate or this show right here at StraightTalk 973. Keep up with her Friday night for HTLA Late Night on her Adult Advice Show. Ooh, yes.
Yeah, Sex and the Kitty. Oh, and don't forget, mention Real Talk.
At the Kitty 973, thanks.
Oh, yeah, follow me on Twitter.
And now, Real Talk. Kate's kick-ass film review show is back on Wednesday, and lots in development there, too.
Thank you, baby. Yes, absolutely. There's so much going on. It's hard to keep track of it all.
Mm-hmm.
So much going on. But for like I was saying, your stuff is really hopping now. I mean, since all the box Twitters, every single box Twitter is getting mega follows now.
Yeah.
So too your blog, at onemoresmoke.com.
And One More Smoke Unfiltered.
Yes, One More Smoke Unfiltered is the Twitter, right? At One More Smoke Unfiltered?
Yes.
Or is it at OMS?
Actually, it's OMS Unfiltered.
I
but
thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? Okay.
All right. Just do a search for One More Smoke and you'll find it because there's only one.
That's right. There is only one. Absolutely. Don't forget tonight's show also. You can listen right now if you happen to be tuning in to the simulcast on blogtalkradio.com. And we have a chat, and there's always something awesome going on in there because you never know who's going to show up on Straight Talk to talk straight, so you're going to want to pop in the chat and see if anybody's around.
That's right. You'll just have to show up to find out who's banging it in there with us this week because you never know who's going to show up straight to talk straight on Straight Talk.
Unlike us today.
There, see, now is that what you were trying to say? Oh, wait a minute. You said it better. Anyway.
Only by luck.
That's right. And now there would be the cue for the... right? Yeah. There you go. Okay, so
That's fine. It's a holiday. We're all on holiday.
Hey, in keeping with the Independence Day theme, even America has made some mistakes in her.
Never happened. No, really, no. Well, we're going to talk all about that tonight anyway.
We are. It's going to be good.
It is. It's going to be very good.
No refried beans here.
That's right. Okay, yeah. So if you want to just jump into the discussion portion, we can. As long as all the station business is...
Well, I believe the station business is done.
Okay, then we're good.
I think.
Then we're good. So last night we were listening to Bill Maher, right? Watching Bill Maher.
Bill Maher, the political guy.
Because he's funny and he's good. And, I can't say I always agree with everything, but overall, generally, the man makes sense. So you have to agree with common sense. At least that's the consensus. What bothers me most about people and the political topic, I guess it's the same with religion or any of those topics your mother taught you never to talk about at the dinner table, is that it doesn't matter whether the topic or what someone is saying is making sense. People will just cling on to their ideologies for dear life with their icy cold fingers, whether it's right or wrong.
Okay, funny you should say that because I kind of have a different take on that. I kind of feel... Actually, no, I do feel that us, by and large majority, i.e. the voters, as well as congressmen, senators, and other members of branches of government, I think a lot of people have opinions that don't make any sense. And when I say that because it's quite obvious from these policymakers, these lawmakers, and the people who vote for all of them, if we make a law or pass a bill that doesn't make any sense,
right?
Why are we doing that? Well, it's because people don't really know politics.
Right.
They don't really know the division of parties and what it actually means and what it is. They can't fathom the fact that, the gentleman from California is over at the gentleman from Wyoming's house tonight for a state dinner, and they get along royally, and they're smoking their cigars and telling jokes about their wife.
Right. But yet they're arguing at the house.
But earlier today, in Congress, they were at each other's throats. I'm not even going to say so much that it's a public form of entertainment, but really it is.
No, it's true. It is.
And there's no, in one breath, you'll hear a lot of people, and especially on Bill Maher last night, they were talking about, don't be looking to Obama to be the great white hope or the great savior.
Right.
Because of our system and the way it is, there can't be, by definition, a great savior, because that would be a dictatorship, and oh no, that's evil. But if we look at dictatorships through history, some have been evil, yes.
Yeah, some.
Some have just been misunderstood.
And some monarchies, which is not nearly a dictatorship because it wasn't taken by force or anything, but it's still a unitarian kind of rule, have been brilliant. I mean, look at all the golden age of Elizabeth I, and
right.
Victoria was a very benevolent and amazing queen. And, there are some wonderful rulers as well. And now most of these countries, of course, in this day and age have adopted a parliamentary system, which is so similar to our democratic house system. But yet,
but here's the irony, though. Here's what really burns my ass.
Mm-hmm.
The flame about this high. No, just kidding. Is I'm Canadian.
Yeah, she's Canadian by birth. Yeah.
The sad fact is that I know more about American politics, American politicians, the party lines, policy, laws, and hell, even the national anthem, than you guys do.
It's very true. I have to say, he's a font.
Okay.
A font of knowledge.
And when I got here from beautiful sunny Vancouver, BC, when I got here and started to meet people in New Jersey and in New York City and in Pennsylvania and all around the tri-state area, I don't know. It kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. That the ignorance level,
right?
Even
among the elite in New York that we hung out with in our industries.
Sure, there's just this
back
cluelessness.
To that original point. Maybe intellectually they know that they're clinging to this ideology, and maybe in their heart of hearts they don't believe it either, but they feel a duty and a patriotic loyalty to the point of their party.
She said duty.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We had someone here, the guest, who it didn't matter the idiocy of the statements he was making.
No.
Because it came from the Democratic Party, he would defend it with his life, even though I could prove to him point by point how it was inaccurate.
Absolutely, and that kind of goes to my point about you're all crazy and you don't know anything. Because of that exact example.
Right.
This particular person in question was an Obama fanatic and a Democrat till the day he dies.
Okay.
All of these things are great. Sad fact is that in 2007, when he was running, me up in good old Canada was rooting for him. I'm like, come on,
I voted for Obama too.
Obama, yeah. He's going to do it.
I wanted to see the change.
He's going to evolve the U.S., and I didn't even realize at the time what a monumental undertaking that actually would have been.
Right.
But he just exuded that confidence and that leadership ability that just said to you, yeah, I'm going to do what I say. I'm going to bring the troops home. I'm going to do this, that, and the next thing, and we're going to make America better.
Right. I thought he was a good man.
Who the hell wouldn't want that?
Yeah.
So we all went for it, and Oprah cried, and the world was happy.
Was made, and then he won the Nobel Prize before he even did a thing in office, and that kind of put me off.
And let's not forget, 30 days after he was sitting in the White House there, he sent another 75,000 troops.
Yeah, and he didn't bring anybody home yet. I'm still waiting. It's 4 years later.
Well, and of course you're still waiting because, there's another election coming now, and that's going to be a big selling point.
Well, okay, I'm glad you mentioned this, and I want to bring this up before we go to our first commercial break. With this Obamacare thing and the timing of it, right? With the Supreme Court ruling that it is a constitutional act that should be considered and passed, right? I am astounded at the level of Democrats, but Republicans alike, who aren't acknowledging that this is a dog and pony show for the election. That if he wanted to really do this, he could have done this 3.5 years ago.
Well, this is the other thing why I'm kind of saying that, everybody out here is the lowest common denominator when it comes to political IQ, because I've seen these trends and these cycles since I was 11 years old. The first couple of years I watched the television news.
Right, but
I figured this stuff.
Example,
no, I'm
you
not.
You are, though. You are. Most
no.
kids didn't have your level
This stuff is so blatantly obvious
to you.
To me.
Right, exactly.
It's all cyclical. It's all about money. It's all about, and here we are, and we're doing it again, and we're all expecting a better outcome, and I just do not get the logic of that.
This is what's bringing me up with the Bill Maher thing and what we were watching last night also, because even he didn't acknowledge it. And him in entertainment and being so politically entrenched should have mentioned it. But
there you go.
Right.
So we'll talk more about Bill Maher
in 2 minutes
when we come back.
When you're under fire, when there is no hope, when all other possible solutions have been exhausted, when it comes down to just you saving the Earth from the alien extermination of the human race, don't trust any gear. Trust Logitech Game Gear. Only you and Logitech can save the planet.
Logitech.com.
Kimber Firearms. Quality without compromise. Kimber measures success by product quality and customer satisfaction, not sales volume or market share. After all, if you trust a Kimber for protection, carry one hunting, or shoot one in competition, quality is everything. That mindset comes naturally. From the top down, Kimber is made up of dedicated shooters and hunters who insist that their guns be the best. Kimber quality has led to unprecedented demand. Organizations like the USA Shooting Team, LAPD SWAT, and United States Marines assigned to Central Command chose Kimber. American shooters did too, in a big way, and Kimber has become the world's largest producer of 1911 pistols. From Alaska to Africa, hunters have relied on Kimber rifles to take the trophy of a lifetime. At Kimber, quality will always be paramount and the true measure of success. This ensures that Kimber will continue to be the first choice of America's best shooters. We invite you to visit our website and come see for yourself. www.kimberamerica.com.
Is the moment right, but you're not? At your age, you know enough about what it is you really want. You don't need no guidance. But if you suffer from erectile dysfunction, maybe now is the time to talk to your doctor. Be ready the next time the moment is right. Don't take chances with what's in your pantses. Viagra, the most trusted name when it comes to getting the job done. Do not drive your Camaro while taking Viagra, as it may affect your ability to see or hear.
HTLA Radio 1.
All righty, and we are back with our Independence Day special.
That's right. Did you know that I just also found out that overwhelmingly, 85 to 90% of the Latin population, whether they're legal citizens or not, are affiliated with the Independent Party.
What?
Yeah. They consider themselves independent of either the Democratic or the Republican Party.
Independent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, I can't remember for the life of me if ever an independent ever got any further. Maybe who was the last? The guy with the big ears, the Dumbo ears, the rich guy. Come on, help me out.
Ross Perot?
Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
NAFTA.
That's right. He was the last that I can recall.
Well, you know, as far as that North American trade agreement goes, yeah, that did a lot to screw the U.S., and I say that because it did a lot to screw the U.S. out of a lot of opportunity.
Right.
It certainly screwed a lot of Canada away, all of Canada. And, you know, it did its toll to the Mexican economy as well. So the North American Free Trade Agreement, as it stood and still stands today, I'm kind of really feeling some, I don't know, what's the word?
Butthurt.
No, rewrites are in order.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Anyway, let's get back to the Bill Maher discussion.
Right, because I was quite shocked, actually, that, like I said, him being in entertainment
Right.
and so politically astute that he's basically made his career out of it now, that he wouldn't even acknowledge the timing of the thing. Supporter or not, you know, I'm all for if they can make Obamacare work. I want everybody to have health care. I want
Well,
it
apparently, according to the show there last night, Obamacare doesn't cover everybody.
No, but neither does Medicare, and neither does almost any. How can it? Can we have one universally?
Well, I don't know. As it was brilliantly pointed out by our learned colleague last night, Canada has still, to this day,
That's right.
globally, the number one healthcare system. And America, I believe, he quoted as being the worst example.
It was. When Thailand was reforming their entire healthcare system, once they, you know, became a more wealthy nation and decided to do more for their citizens, they examined every single healthcare system that was put into place in every country in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And Canada was first and the best example and what they're modeling their country's healthcare system out after.
Right.
And when he went to interview, he's a commentator on CNN now. He's an East Indian. I can't remember his name right now.
Fareed.
Was it?
His first name was Fareed.
So when Thailand went to do that, they examined and they said, you know, if you want, look at America, that's what not to do.
There you go.
Right.
So, you know, how many years, how many decades, how many political four-year cycles, how many campaigns, how many days have we been talking about the Medicare issue? Has it been back as far as World War II?
Yes.
Or is it back further?
That was the last time.
So clue me in now. Here we go.
The Depression, not World War II. I'm sorry. The Depression was when Medicare came into.
There you go. So there you are, 1931, and you identify a problem on a national scale.
Right. And it's still being.
We're almost 100 years later now. Why can't we figure this out?
It's not that difficult because of the bipartisan system. And I'm going to go back to
disagree.
my point.
Hold on.
You can disagree all you want, but the Republicans don't like what the Democrats propose, and vice versa, and it gets stalled, and no one gets help.
Okay, well, you can say that, but I have it on good authority about the Canadian Parliament. They have the Liberals. They have the Progressive Conservatives. They have the NDP. They have their own independent party. They have the Rhino Party, which are just a bunch of pot-smoking hippies. And, you know, 5 parties sit in the House of Canada in Ottawa.
I think that's better than 2.
Well, I guess clearly it is.
Because, you know, at least you have divergent opinions and everybody can't be as selfish as one or the other.
Well, true, but just like the American system, the Canadians do, you know, ultimately go down to House votes. And, you know, when I'm talking about the Liberals versus Progressive Conservative, those are the 2 major players in the House. When you talk about the NDP, New Democratic Party, you talk about the Rhino Party, you talk about the Independents, you know, collectively, all 3 of those parties will make up, you know, 20% of the seats total. So really, it is the 2 major players. But I'm just saying that they have, you know, 5 completely different parties that are all in that House of Commons.
Right.
So, you know, they have been able to do this, you know, while fighting with Montreal and Quebec because they want their independence, and we don't want nothing from the Canadians except the Bank of Canada and the Royal Bank. Yeah, basically that's it. They want to separate from Canada and keep our banks and money.
Yeah.
Yes, no. So, you know, dealing with all that kind of turmoil, like, you know, the U.S. doesn't have part of it that's trying to separate.
Not anymore.
Right?
Well, that's not entirely true. Texas would love to be its own country.
Honey, I don't know if you've ever been there, but Texas is its own country.
Well, I concur, but but that's my point, though. You have those 5 parties, and you have those 5 divergent opinions.
Sure.
And here you have 2 parties, one set of lobbyists, and the one guy who was in jail and he came back, he was a lobbyist. and now he's fighting to change that kind of the lobby system.
The guy who was in jail and came back, isn't that every politician?
Yes, it is. But this guy that Bill Maher had on last night, and he was a lobbyist. He did some dirty dealings, went to jail for a long time, came out 48 months, I believe, in Club Fed, but I'm sure that was a long time to him.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right. But now he's fighting to change the lobby system because, you have the same lobbyists. One topic they'll lobby the Republicans, another topic they'll lobby the Democrats, and it's like a real estate agent having a buyer and a seller in the same room.
Right.
You just can't do it like that. No one gets a fair shake. Nothing gets complete and due consideration. And nothing gets done. And who is it monetarily that this is going to benefit more? Well, nobody's caring about the people.
Well, and they did identify that in last night's show as well, that, the entire problem to do with health care was capitalism. Mm-hmm. And I found that sort of culmination of an idea really kind of interesting because we have capitalism in Canada.
Right, but the system because you have socialized medicine in Canada, the system we have here with the HMOs and the PPOs, Gianna broke her clavicle, and it was $624 for them to do a scan and give her 2 Tylenol and send her to the orthopedist, which is more money.
And you still had to pay that, or at least the majority portion of that,
right,
after paying $200 a month in health care.
Right. Well, that's my insurance. I don't know how much the one, she's got a different one than me. That's my personal one. It's still that much. And there's, courses. I can't see specialists under my plan. There's things that I can't do under my plan.
Well, here's the other thing that's always kind of astonished me, too. Canada with its 32 million population right now, I believe. And the United States now with its close to 350 million.
That's a huge
That's roughly, Canada is roughly 10% of the size of the United States. Now, they, as long as I can remember, certainly, and probably much longer before that, Canada has always had basically a free healthcare system.
Right.
Okay, so what the government did is they took a chunk of the taxes coming in from all their taxpayers, mm-hmm. and they said, okay, well, we need to run these hospitals, we need to have these doctors in place, we need to have these labs, right. We need to have these pharmacies, we need to have, right? They built that infrastructure using tax dollars, and they didn't set up toll booths. No. They did nothing to recoup that money because the Canadian people already paid for it.
Right.
Once the infrastructure was in place, then it was just a matter of administrating it and maintaining it. Mm-hmm. And, over the years, there's been upgrades and technological advances all over the world that Canada has definitely had to keep up with. So those are more expensive. MRI machines aren't cheap.
No, they have the 3D sonograms and all. That's just the base level stuff. Not
right.
Even the stuff. Right.
One of the other things that Canada qualified as number one in globally on the medical stuff was the gear, the tech level, right?
Yeah.
And, it's just so alien to me where, if I was feeling sick or if I broke my knee or something, I just call up the doctor's office, the local GP. Yeah, I did this. I need to come in and see him. Come in and see him. Boom, get your prescription. Out the door you go. Yeah. In the hospital, there's nobody there trying to collect money from you before they even give you triage.
Yeah, no. They want all your insurance stuff.
With Canadians in Canada, it's always treatment first.
Right, no, not here.
Right?
Who's paying?
And even at that, there's no, treat first and bill you later. No.
Just treat it, yeah.
There's just treat it, get you well, get you back out there.
It's
because the more you're out there,
right,
the more taxes they can make because the more money you're making.
Right.
So they understand that that's a win-win. But this country here has so many other problems.
Right.
Like, what were the numbers last night in California alone of illegal immigrants? It was close to 60%.
Yeah, the numbers were...
Total population of the entire state, 60% of them are alien.
Right.
Illegals.
Well, I don't know if that was the quote. It might have been 60% are uninsured.
Okay, it could have been that too.
But a significant portion of that are non-documented. That's why.
Yeah, but what happens, though? if they're all working labor jobs or menial jobs,
Right.
if they get injured,
they're the ones who get injured and sick because of the poverty level, the improper
right.
vitamins, the nutritional things. Yes,
right.
Plus the risky behavior in those kind of groups.
Well, yes, there is those too.
Exactly.
But that's a serious problem for us because here we are. That's our state.
But that's a huge issue now because under Obama's plan, he wants to legalize these people. As long as they're not like criminals, like the ones that were over here from Cuba and they made Scarface. He wants them legalized, and so that way they can pay taxes.
Sure.
And qualify for this health care and overall improve everything because they're here anyway.
Well, and this kind of goes back to sort of my original point. The Canadian healthcare system has been in place. It's long-standing. It's regarded as the best system in the world. Where's the rocket science here to replicate that here? You could say, oh, well, the demand's too high because we have 350 million. Well, guess what? If your population is 100% bigger, or in this case 900% bigger than the country that can do it, that means that your population base, you've got 900% more money. That
has nothing to do with it. What has to do with it is that 3 out of 5 of the people sitting in the House in Canada voted for it, and here it's one against the other. One wants it and one doesn't, and that's it. And it doesn't go anywhere. The Republicans don't want to take care of anybody but themselves. And now the Democrats, funnily enough, and as Bill Maher mentioned on the show last night, they're actually leaning more towards what the Republicans had done 25 years ago, which is personal responsibility.
Yes.
Let these people take care of themselves. Well, that's been the Republican ideology the whole entire time.
Right.
And I don't think that's a selfish thing for the country to ask of its people.
No.
We do it. Why can't everybody else?
Absolutely.
And we are not, from silver spoon in your mouth families. We work for everything we have, just like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think it's too much to ask that people are responsible personally for themselves and are able to take care of themselves. But like you said, there are so many other issues. But I think the reason that it doesn't work here and it's not been voted in, even though it's the common sense solution, any child presented with these two options would choose the correct one because it's that much of a common sense option.
Sure. So we can at least all come to the understanding that we all realize we need this.
Right.
But here's where it starts to get a little convoluted now. Why are we spending so much money on what they call defense? Actually, it's military occupation of 2+ other countries, and we're okay with that. Why are we okay with that?
A lot of us aren't.
Okay, but hey, okay, if we're not okay with it, why are we there? Who says?
Well, I think in that case, it doesn't matter whether the people are okay with it or not. It's what the powers that be want. They want to be there, so they're there.
Yes, but what is the good and sense of having someone called the commander-in-chief if he can't bring them home?
Right. Well, we talked about that, too. It's because it's not a dictatorship or a monarchy or anything like that. He's got to have everything passed. And there's always agendas that are personal to the parties that prevent them from okaying things that are even common sense solutions. I always said just put a mother in the White House. Put a mother in the Oval Office. Everybody's going to stop arguing. The common sense solutions will be implemented, and everybody will be happy.
I'd like to submit that the last closest and dearest threat to the White House was Sarah Palin in that regard.
Well, I said a mother.
She's a mother.
She is a mother, all right. But I mean like a mama, not like, So, sorry, but I don't see her as any kind of anything.
No, but she does fit.
Dish towel.
She does fit the qualification you just stated.
Only biologically. It's the difference between being a father and being a dad.
I didn't say you or I put her in that position. I'm saying she was almost in that position.
Right. Well, let's get a real one in there. Let's get a real one who actually makes sense when they open their mouth.
Who would you have, Roseanne Barr?
You know what? I'd rather see somebody who's down home, lived it, and not lived in a pie in the sky, thinking they can solve everything with their Bronwyn education and their, all this other kind of stuff. Somebody who's actually solved real problems in real life first.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think I would, actually, rather than go this route, because this is what it's going to take now. Because who are we trying to help? We're not trying to help the Ivy League educated and the people that actually can think and problem solve and who have been taught to and do critical think.
Yeah.
We're trying to solve the problems of the sheep. And so we need a shepherd that understands the sheep and that understands their needs and their problems and their issues.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Can't argue with
that.
that.
And mamas
no.
don't put up with any gumption, You get. I'm going to say, if there was going to be anybody in there, it should have been, some kind of Southern, matriarchal figure who wasn't going to put up with any nonsense and just, demand manners, demand responsibility, demand accountability, and do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's coming from a Northerner who believes very heavily in a patriarchal, traditional setup in life. But I think this is exactly what we need in this instance, particularly because it's gotten so bad.
Wow.
But that's just my personal opinion.
Sure.
Nobody's going to listen to Mitt Romney. Nobody's going to listen to Obama. Nobody's going to listen to any more guys anyway, because they all say the same thing and do the same thing, which is nothing.
The other thing that really bothers me about elections and politics is how they use words like independence and freedom, yet turn around and give you the policies and rule. How is that different than Fidel Castro?
Well, because they don't shoot us if we break the law right in the middle of the road without a trial. I know they do it, but we don't hear of it. They don't come in your house at 4 a.m. and drag you out and just shoot you in the alley and stuff.
Well, and that kind of leads me to my second major point of the broadcast, which would be Waco, which would be the polygamous
Yeah, but
there.
At least they went through the justification process first. They didn't just nonchalantly go in there one day and drag you out and shoot you right there without due process or anything like that.
I can refer you to the news footage.
No, I'm aware. I watched the whole thing. That was days and days in the making after months and months of investigation.
Yeah, but that's no different
though.
than two drunk guys posturing in the bar, all talking and displaying and puffing up to see who's going to go first.
Isn't that
that's
all
what that was.
politics is anyway?
Well, is it?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, and that's why it doesn't work, because you have one guy and you have another guy. In Canada, everything works because you have 5 guys, and you have at least a couple more to, kind of soften and help negotiate with the rest. It's a different thing. I think if we had 5 parties and they all sat in the House, a lot more would get done, because it's a majority rule. Whether it's 4-1 or 3-2, stuff would get done. There's always a vote if it's a 5-party system. There can never be a tie.
Well, and that's why the Supreme Court has 9 justices.
Exactly. But that's why the political system in Canada works, because there's never a tie, so there's never any holdup.
And isn't it interesting, because the Supreme Court in Canada, 12 justices.
Right. But they're more polite to each other. They're more reasonable. They have sensible arguments. And
it's true.
Because they have a sensible system that doesn't drive them nuts every day, because it works.
And I think, too, that the Canadian Supreme Court, I think those judges really understand the responsibility level and the impact of the decisions that they make.
Absolutely. I have to agree.
And we got Clarence Thomas.
Right. And I'm not saying that because I'm married to a Canadian and because, in my mind I'm in love with Canada because it gave me everything I ever wanted in life. But because I watch now on television so many documentaries and shows, especially because I watch a lot of crime shows on Discovery and ID and all that stuff like that.
Right.
And a lot of them now are centered around Canadian cases and things like that. And just the level of professionalism and the way that they conduct things, night and day from our law enforcement system here. It really is. I know you have an issue because you've been through the law enforcement system, as a career at one point. But, in my mind, knowing how it works here.
No, I wasn't a career criminal.
No. That's not what I meant, no. Yeah.
But because of the...
Right. But because of that, because I know how the system works here and the way they're trained here and the way you were trained at the academy, too.
Yeah.
Totally different day and night. Even the respect level, just the entire respect level in an entirely different ball game.
Right.
So when you have that, what do I always say? What is my big thing? You have to have that higher. Yeah, just do what I say, and you'll be fine. No, not that one. The other one. That you have to have a hierarchical structure. There has to be a framework and a structure and a level. And when people operate within that, everything just works. And, you know, your country works opposed to our country because your country maintains that level of respect for its authority, and it works in the hierarchical system.
Well, by and large, I think it's safe to say that they aspire to.
Well, the ones that run the stuff, at least, and those right below it, you know, every country's going to have its sheep, and they're going to want to rebel and do whatever they want. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But the ones that count, not that they don't count, but I'm saying unless they get themselves educated about the issues, I have no interest in what they have to say anyway. You know, if they're going to be that ignorant that they can't take the time to learn about issues before they start picking up weapons and defending stuff they don't even understand, then just go away. I don't even want to hear you. You're not even part of my equation. But, you know, where it counts, the two main meats of where it counts, the respect levels are entirely divergent.
Sure.
And that's why one works and one doesn't.
Wow.
No.
Well, there you go. Don't be looking for health care anytime soon.
Yeah, no. Not unless by some miracle. I think if the American people were way more educated about the way the Canadian system works, it would go through. We'd demand it.
You know, and that kind of takes me back to the beginning of the program, is the ignorance level, and the ignorance level being kind of used as a God-given American excuse.
Yeah, I think in Canada there's more shepherds than there are sheep, and here there's just way more sheep and too few shepherds.
I gotta agree with that.
And why is that? Because education is easier to obtain in Canada.
Education's in the toilet here.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, and you know, isn't it funny? I bet you if you look at that world list of education, which I believe the U.S. is sitting at 13. 52 or something.
Oh, I thought it was
no,
13.
List, no.
Okay.
Well, Canada actually only ranks at 5.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd be who's first?
I believe it's Norway.
That's right. I was shocked it wasn't an Asian country.
No, it's up in the Netherlands. There, they pay for
everything for your.
Everything.
Yeah.
They will pay you for your post-secondary education. They want you to get that degree. They want you to be a world leader in a discipline because...
That's right. Do you know if you, break your leg and you can't work, they'll take care of you? It doesn't...
Sure.
It's not a social security system that you got to apply and go 50 weeks before you even hear an answer back and get a lawyer because you were denied for it. No. You break your leg.
Get a lawyer.
Yeah, that's how you have to get it. They'll always deny you the first time.
I know.
Right? So you break your leg, you call them up, and they make sure that you have food, your power stays on, and you have everything you need, and blah, blah, blah.
Wow. You know, and well, there you go, because that's kind of the other thing to it, too. Anyway, getting back to the education thing, the differences in the education levels between Canada and the U.S. are pretty much the differences in medical levels, Canada versus the U.S.
Right,
isn't that interesting?
System, right.
Right? So is there a correlation there?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Like I said, I think it all goes back to there's a level of self-esteem, respect for oneself, and respect for others that is just inherent in that country that here, well, who's going to teach the kids those things if nobody's home?
Well, there's that, too.
I'm not saying they don't have those issues in Canada, but they have social structure in place that's different than ours, too. And I know you've got an awful lot to say about, the care system there, too. And every care system in every country is screwed up. Whenever you have a child, it's going to be screwed up. There's going to be abuses, and there's going to be screw-ups, and there's going to be things. But again, I think that, fixing that system starts with fixing homes and families first.
Well, and you've always said that about everything.
Right.
So,
yeah,
no shocker there.
Right.
I'm not entirely convinced that would bring about the kind of changes that we're talking about.
Well, not in the immediate term, honey. Look, it took 200 years to screw it up.
That's true.
It's going to take a long time.
That's true. I don't even think myself, with my superior intellect, could actually really picture 30 years into a future, into that future. I don't think I could even imagine that. So I think me and you and John Lennon are SOL there. Anyway, gang, we got to go for our next commercial, but we'll be back in 2 minutes with more of our Independence Day special.
Hello, my name is Daryl Keith Harris, and I'd like to talk today about Procast, the automated and intelligent entertainment industry database. This revolutionary new online system will completely change the way we do business in the film, television, fashion, and music business. This incredible new technology will also save so much time and money and put talent in the film, television, music, and fashion industries in the spotlight where we belong. Procast. It's new. It's something you can't get anywhere else. And it will soon be available to these industries, and I can't wait. For more information on Procast and the exciting future for our industries, visit www.goprocast.com. Thank you.
It's pretty amazing how one click of a mouse can make you move, groove, bust it, shake it, get down, get funky, and let your freak flag fly. Visa Debit is the safe, secure way to pay online. More people go with Visa.
Welcome back to Geico Radio. It's savings on the radio.
Call us, Steve. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I just got a free rate quote on Geico.com. Saved a ton, and it only took me 5 minutes and 12 seconds. I was wondering, is that some sort of record?
That's a good question. Let's have a look.
Not quite. Someone's got you beat by 8 seconds.
Still, I mean, that's quite fast.
Well, what if I told you I only use one hand?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Alrighty, gang, we are back, and you are listening to HTLA's Straight Talk with Kate and Crash. Tonight we are having our Independence Day special, talking all about nasty stuff like politics and IQ levels.
State of the state. That's
Cute,
right.
Cute.
Absolutely. Yeah, really.
Well, yeah.
Well, all right. Let's just switch up a little bit. We don't want to stay too serious. We are an entertainment network, after all.
That's right. So now I think we should talk about Eric Baldwin.
That was funny, too. But no, I was thinking more like the shockwave of the century that I got today about Anderson Cooper.
Okay. You say shockwave. I say, yeah.
We are HTLA Radio 1. You will lower your heels and prepare to be boarded. We will add your distinctiveness, your advertisers, and your sponsors to our own. Persistence
I always
is
had a
futile.
big crush on Anderson Cooper.
Oh, well, you see, that's probably why you're so butthurt about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, in the headlines today, if you didn't already know, Anderson Cooper has actually come out of the closet. Our good friend, comedian Karen J. Larson, said today that...
Happy birthday, Karen.
Finally, that's the reason is so clear to her now why Anderson is always so pasty and white is because there's no actual sunlight in the closet. So, yeah, he has come out stating longtime CNN anchor Anderson Cooper has publicly declared he's gay. He actually made this statement last week, and it just seems to be hitting all us tards now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's gay. There you go. And you know, Kate has been voicing all day since, you know, she was made aware of the headline at InsideBoxMag.com that, you know, she's just so shocked and, oh, my God, and, you know, what about all the women he's been with and blah, blah, blah around the city? Oh, my God, New York, restaurants, women, good-looking women. Well, you know, I can tell you this. When you're gay, good-looking women,
love you.
Fat, ugly, nasty women, doesn't matter to you because you're gay. Right? No, but I mean, you know, my point is that the guy is
he's also
a hell of a journalist.
He's also a Vanderbilt.
Okay.
You just don't do that. You just don't. You stay in the closet. Shush. You just don't do that.
Well, you know, I think we have hopefully accelerated past that kind of thinking, Kate.
That's what I'm talking about. That's where it starts, and then the whole structure falls apart. Then everybody thinks they can just do whatever they want. There's no more need for any kind of structure or modicum of respectability or respect.
Well, in related news,
there you go.
Facebook today has now made it possible to commit to your significant gay other on Facebook.
Well, see, I think that's cool. That's awesome. I'm all for gay rights and all that stuff like that. I just don't think it's necessary at this stage of the game. Look, I've always said I have no issue with two mommies, two daddies, to any of this stuff. I'm even for polygamy if that's what floats your boat. But
excellent.
You don't need to. Your close family, your friends, whatever. If that's you have to live as yourself. No kidding. I am the hugest proponent of that.
Well, now I want to take Facebook. Sorry.
Facebook.
I actually want to take Facebook to court retroactively because, you see, all this time, right, I've been going on under the assumption that, I had to send a request to you through Facebook to become married.
Right.
Right, and vice versa. You had to accept that request in Facebook, right? Almost giving us a virtual Facebook wedding. Wow, that was so great. Nice. With the money that Zuckerberg makes, you'd think he'd send us flowers or something, but no.
Really?
No, but here's my thing. I did not know that, my buddy Todd Smith, I didn't know that he and I couldn't get married on Facebook. Who the hell are they to dictate whether or not I can get married to my significant other on Facebook? See,
I didn't know that either.
I'm not gay. I'm not in a gay marriage situation, so I would have never tried this, but I just assumed
that you could send a request
that
to
you could,
your cat if you wanted to. Who cares?
But now they come out with this news today. God damn it. I want to go back and sue them retroactively for taking away my right all these years not to be able to marry my husband.
Right.
Seriously.
I hear you.
What is that about? Why would they have ever encoded that into their system?
Have they, though? Because I've seen women with their women significant others on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, but it's 2012 now. That's sexy and funky.
Well, I agree, but...
And considering some of the new reality shows out there, that's also quite trendy.
Yeah. The real L word, actually. A little bit of a StraightTalk inside scoop here. It's very possible in the near future I might have a star of the real L word on our show.
No.
Yeah.
No way. We're nowhere near elevated to that level. Come on, what are you talking about?
Don't worry. Oh, wait do you see who else is coming this summer? OMG, Emmy winners.
Oh?
I got Emmy winners on my show.
Emmy.
Well, we're doing another A-list theatrical release premiere party, big dealio next month.
Coming up August? Yeah. I think everybody knows what that one is by now.
Better.
Even Facebook. So anyway, I was really shocked to find out that you couldn't do that, and now I'm pissed off about it. And I'm not pissed off about it because I couldn't marry my internet husband. I'm pissed off about it because they actually went in and specifically and knowingly made it so that you couldn't.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I got a big problem with that. But anyway, as far as the Anderson Cooper thing goes, I don't care. He's a great journalist. He does a great job. He's getting all kinds of well wishes from
I agree.
everybody.
I want him to be happy, of course. Absolutely. I'm not saying that.
Well, and now he doesn't have to piss around in the New York restaurants anymore.
Yeah, but my issue is why do you need that exposure to be happy?
My issue has always been why does anybody need to know who the hell you sleep with?
Well, I think in the case of I know I'm incredibly proud that you're my husband, and I tell the world and stuff.
Well,
kind
so
of
what?
the same thing, though.
Well, okay, so now he can, be with his significant other, and okay, that's probably why he came out and did that.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, why would you continue playing a lie? Just
People will be proud of me for what I do and say about you and stuff. I'm not going to be subjected to scrutiny and discrimination and things like that because I'm proud of my husband as a woman.
No, good point. Well, and maybe is this a tool to get his own reality show?
Oh, God. Well, he doesn't need it. He's so big.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a reality show.
No.
See, what you got to understand is with all the A-listers, that's the thing now. You got to have a reality show. Otherwise, you're nothing.
Shocking. You're right.
Next you're going to see At Home with Arnie.
Well, If Mrs. Eastwood could do it.
Well, and that's something else that ticks me off, but we're not going to go there on this show because this is all about independence.
Yes. And he certainly declared his Mr. Anderson Cooper today.
There you go.
Or
so
whatever it was.
So
just getting wind of it.
He's and yeah, going back to the Alec Baldwin for a minute, I just want to say that he is indeed off Twitter again. He has closed down his Twitter account for the third time now in history since 2007, citing "It's been fun." Apparently, this is because of a little scuffle.
Yeah, but that release
between him and Harry Levin at TMZ.
That happened years ago. You know, I'm actually Twitter friends with Ireland and Haley and some of them in the Baldwin clan, and that was years ago. She's like way older now. That's so like old news. I think his new bride just, put the kiboshes on his social media.
I got a feeling that you're probably a hell of a lot more intuitive than anybody else, because that, to me, is the first thing I've heard all day following this story that makes any sense to me whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Hey, how many arguments have I had over your new Facebook admirers?
Yeah, me and Marky got a thing going.
I get jealous.
That's right.
He's got so many. Well, you know what? That's the problem, though, with him and being a director and stuff. He gets all these ingenue, half scantily clad actresses renting him.
Yeah, well, they're actresses. One of them even spells it Actriss.
Wow.
Actress.
Yes, I know, and that's the ones I get mad at.
That was my favorite. I got her yesterday.
Why accept that request, babe? You know you're never going to give her a job.
No.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
I just like having a pretty blonde in my stable that spells actress Actriss. I think that's a novelty.
Okay.
And I think other directors out there in the biz would envy me for that score, because that's pretty much the stereotypical thing you get in this business.
Well, I want hot blondes too, and I get, these middle-aged men that sit in their mother's basement and that want to cut me up and put me into envelopes.
Don't talk about David like that.
But I do. I get these crazy.
No, I know.
Doctors.
I've actually seen your friends list, and it ain't pretty.
Yeah, I do have some wonderful, wonderful meeps. Of course I do. Great people. But I get the nutsos too.
Well, and you also get the self-proclaimed royalty. Those are some of my favorite. Countries like Mesopotamia that don't even have royalty.
Mesopotamia. You're so cute.
Lithuania.
Lithuania does.
Right. And I'm sure they're on Facebook on your friends list.
No, they're not on Facebook, no.
No. I think you even have some royalty helping you out in Castleville.
I do. Castleville, yay!
Yeah.
It's the only game I play.
So what about the top story today on the box?
Yeah, that was kind of sad. I don't know the details of what it was, but Charlie Sheen's former assistant was found dead. Young man, not old or anything, not. I don't know. I guess if he was Charlie Sheen's former assistant, anything he got himself into was possible.
I'm gonna go there, folks.
Is that terribly assumptive of me?
Excuse me. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go to that place which no other colleague has the balls to go to. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say, who cares?
Yeah.
Back when Charlie Sheen went through his dealio there in 2010, my opinion was, who cares? If he wants to take all his money and binge the high life and end up really screwed up, more tiger blood to him. Who cares? This guy's former assistant, Rick Calamaro. Who cares? I'm sure Mama Calamaro.
Sure.
Mama Calamaro cares. But I'm sure Mama Calamaro was let down 20 years ago when he started hanging out with him and started doing all these things, and the list goes on.
How many people die every day? And we don't hear about them because they're not Charlie Sheen's assistant.
Well, and if they're drug abusers, and if they're alcoholics, and if they're
then we really never hear about
this guy was found in his hotel room. Why do people live in hotel rooms, by the way? Found in his hotel room, surrounded by bottles of pills and booze.
Right. Right.
Now, of course, when we first posted this story this morning, we didn't know, and neither did TMZ, where we got the story from. We didn't know what his cause of death is. That'll be released in the next couple of days. I'm sure he'll get Whitney Houston expediting because he's, Charlie Sheen's former assistant. I like to refer to him as the drinking buddy.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got one, and this guy certainly fits the bill. So, yeah, okay, he OD'd.
Right.
Big deal.
Yeah.
What's the real story here? Is TMZ trying to infer that Charlie Sheen had him
something
killed?
to do with it, or maybe gave him the drugs or something? I know, it's just another. Well, you know what? That's why I can't stand TMZ. That's why we don't do gossip on the box, and we don't do that sort of thing.
No.
Because if it's a relevant story.
Hell, I don't even want to go through the whole Tom Cruise Katie thing.
Well, no, but I have to. And now I just heard it. Now that we're doing a little entertainment segment here, because that is my thing.
There you go.
That the Scientologists have been having her watched and having her followed for months in anticipation of this breakup, this official separation. And she's actually in danger because they consider her
a threat.
The greatest threat to Scientology.
Yeah. You bet.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, because of Katie Holmes, I will never be a Scientologist.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
See?
Yeah. I know.
Oh, no, wait. It's not because of her. It's because they're whack.
Yeah. I know. It's just ridiculous.
How about that?
Any kind of organized anything like that. If it separates you from anybody else on this planet, it's not cool.
What about all those book club associations out there?
You know what I mean. So, I am not a fan of organized religion. You want to be spiritual? I believe everybody has, the option to call it God or call it whatever you want to. There is something clearly bigger than us out there. I do believe that. But if it tells you that I can't, I'm a Catholic and I can't love you because you're Jewish, then what kind of religion are you?
L'chaim.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I was baptized, raised strict Italian Catholic. My husband's Irish Catholic. Nobody knows better than us.
No, her husband was.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. When we got old enough to form our own opinions and actually...
That was out the door.
Yeah, becoming, feeling, caring, compassionate human beings.
Well, and, the other thing, too, at 7 years old, when I'm with one of the church elders asking some pretty basic, pointed questions about
this is a good story.
this, that, and the next thing to do with the Bible and God and Jesus and Jehovah and Buddha and all of these other things that I amazingly knew at 7 because I'm not an idiot.
Well, that's because he's so special. Not in a helmet kind of way.
Oh, come on, baby, go with the helmet. No, it just kind of hit me as being wrong. I go and ask him about it, and he says to me the de facto response that they all say in every religion worldwide, well, you have to have faith. Doubts are not with the Lord. If you just close your eyes right now and pray to the Lord Jesus Christ, blah, 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 and just have faith and go to your grave believing this shit, everything will be okay.
Okay, language, that's 4 times.
Oh! Okay. Sorry, I got stuck in the Charlie Sheen.
I hear you. But also, though, no, I am a proponent of faith. I'm a believer in universal consciousness and that we are all connected to each other and blah, blah, blah. And you have to have faith. And I don't believe in doubt because doubt just says that, you don't believe in yourself, in your own power to make your life better.
All right.
But when they put it to you in such a way as, you can't have answers, because, well, here, have a lollipop, kid, and just shut up and go in the corner.
Yeah.
Totally different. That's a totally different thing, and I get why that would have been the killing point for you, knowing you like I do. That would have been it. That's it, done. So. Well,
and it wasn't just that. That was my goodbye to the Roman Catholic Church. But, in subsequent years, I was exposed to all kinds of different things. Right. Born-again Christians and oh, my God, Protestants. And
yeah, oh, my God, yeah.
But, ultimately, it always came down to the same set of questions. And, everybody's had the Jehovah's Witnesses at your door.
Yeah. Well, you know what, babe? Let's just put it out there on the table because that's just what I do on Straight Talk. I talk straight. And anybody, don't talk to me about the Bible until you've read it. And if you've read it,
understand it.
Not even. If you've read it And you know that the exact story of Jesus is the exact story of an Egyptian god from 2,000 years before Jesus was born, like verbatim. You know, like with the resurrecting and the time in the cave and the water into wine. And literally every single thing that Jesus did, this Egyptian guy did 2,000 years before he was born. And they just copped that for their book.
Did you notice something?
What?
I just noticed something.
What?
While you were going off there?
Yeah, what?
Rick Calamaro?
Is alive again.
No.
What?
Well, he could be. He looks like Jesus.
Oh, no way.
Long hair tucked
he
up
also
into the
looks
hat?
like AJ, though.
What's your point?
Yeah, AJ's my little brother. And yeah.
Hey, you never know. No, but I mean, you know, what is it? I think it's the Mormons that have the Mohammed in a cave in Ohio or something. What is that?
In Pennsylvania, in the field, they found their Bible or some stuff like that. Come on, people, read. You know, it's fiction. It's fiction. Granted,
and it's not even good fiction.
No,
I don't think.
Not. I mean, do you know Jesus once condemned a fig tree to death because it wouldn't bear him fruit?
Yes,
and this is in the Bible.
Yeah.
Seriously. Now, look, no kidding. Jesus was a man. He was real. But all he was somebody who had the capacity to use 10% more of his brain power than the rest of us. So what everybody else saw as miracles was just him being in touch with his universal source and able to do stuff and understand stuff that the sheep couldn't understand.
Damn fig trees.
That's it.
Anyway, gang, we'll be back in 2 minutes with close up of the show.
Yay. All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome to 4G. Don't touch my hammer.
Okay. This is the new version of 5G?
No, now it's 4G.
It's just 5G.
This is 5G, I think.
It's 5G.
What's she talking about?
Just a 5G. Just
I'm
say a 5G. Just say 5G.
All aboard the 5G train. How many bloody G's are there?
I'll take it from there.
Oh. Okay.
All right, we're going to lose Ozzy. Bring in the new one.
Marker.
Ozzy's in the background, guys.
What?
He's in the background.
Is this the way out?
The new buyback program. You buy it now, we buy it back when it's time to upgrade. Fever, 6G Fever.
What's the 6G?
What the f***'s a beaver?
I don't know. Kind of looks like a girl.
I'm Ozzy Osbourne, and I'm the Prince of Darkness.
The Lich King is the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy.
Well, maybe you're the one who's been riding a crazy train, but I've been the Prince of Darkness since 1979. There's the only one Prince of Darkness. Giant!
World of Warcraft. Try it for free at warcraft.com.
What's your game? Hello, I'm William Shatner, and I'm a shaman. I'm a conduit of the ancient forces of nature. You know that wondering, hey, Shatner, how do I hurl bolts of lightning? Simple. Get World of Warcraft, dog. You can be anyone you want. I'm William Shatner, and I'm a shaman. What's your game?
World of Warcraft, the #1 online game. Try it for free at warcraft.com.
HTLA Radio 1.
Never go full retard.
There you go, gang. Never go full retard. You are listening to Straight Talk with Kate and Crash on our Independence Day special. Take it away, Kate.
Yeah, and speaking of full retard, semi-retard, modicum of retard, I gotta say, to segue back into the political thing from the entertainment, I love Mila Kunis. I think she's a great actress.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
adorable. She's sexy. I do her the whole 9 yards.
Oh, yeah.
But this woman, OMG. Now, she's an Obama supporter. Okay, fine, whatever. I find them a little cultish, truthfully.
Cultish?
Yeah.
Did
I find
you
them
say?
a little Scientology in their support of Obama. Anyway, those celebrities. I really do. They tend to go over the top.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's either you're an uber 100,000% diehard Obama fan or you're not. There's like really no middle ground, like when he first came on the scene and you and I were all for him.
Right, and then proof is in the pudding.
Right, and now even in the face of his broken promises and lack of things, some of these glitzy, showy things, they're just like cultish about it. But anyway, she was doing an interview with Glamour and saying how she supports Obama and Obamacare and stuff like that. And when they asked her if she, used her celebrity to fundraise and do stuff like that, like other normal celebrities do for their political people.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh no, I prefer to take my fundraising efforts to the street, but I can't really talk about it because it's kind of illegal. I'm pretty sure it's illegal." And the interviewer is like, "Well, are you talking about graffiti, And because she's talking about street art, right? What else is that?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's illegal, but I don't need attention for the kind of stuff that I do for causes I believe in. I prefer to do them privately." All right, well, you just admitted to breaking the law and graffitiing public property and defacing public property in the name of government, I might add. But you don't need attention for it, so you just spoke about it in your interview with one of the biggest magazines that's in existence as well. So, yeah, that's what, half retard, full retard, I don't know.
More and more attractive every day she is to me.
Yeah, a little bit beyond,
Wow.
Yeah, so
wow.
that's it. But more on the straight and narrow political thing.
Yeah, how about that Mitt Romney?
Yeah, let's talk about that a bit. I do believe he's got a point because Congress okayed this Obamacare thing based on the fact that it's constitutional under the government's right to tax. And now what Mitt Romney is saying is that because of the way it's worded, the actual language of it, if you don't partake in Obamacare if you're eligible, because not everybody's going to be eligible. It's not like you said earlier. If not everybody's eligible, then back to the drawing board, people.
Right.
Right. But under the current language that the Congress okayed and ruled as that the Supreme Court ruled as constitutional, it would be constitutional under the government's right to tax. But Mitt Romney is saying that because of those exclusions, if you qualify and you don't opt in for this, that what you're really paying is a penalty. And it's not a tax. So that kind of voids the constitutional argument under the government's right to tax.
Okay, well, that being said, consider this. In Canada, if you and I were Canadian and we were living in Canada and we had no children, all right? We got no children whatsoever. We have a house, we have our cars, we have our businesses, we pay taxes.
Okay.
Due in our taxes every year in Canada is school tax, transportation tax. All of these taxes
don't apply to us.
That don't apply to us because we don't do public transportation. We don't have children. We're still paying the school taxes. Right? It's just the cost of being Canadian.
Right.
So why then in America can't the ones who qualify but don't opt in still pay that? I don't understand what the problem is.
Well, they are, but all Romney's saying is it's a penalty, not a tax. So that rules what the
Well, it's not a
Supreme
penalty.
Court.
You're not going to get fined $500,000 because you qualify but you're not paying into it.
That's what Obama wants. He wants to force everybody to this if they're eligible.
If they're eligible, why wouldn't they go for it?
Because they're not Obama fans. Because they don't believe in
How about,
socialized medicine.
Yeah, but the actual law is health care. It's not Obama.
But
it's
all
healthcare.
Right, let's go back to our sheep mentality and whether the argument is valid, sound, or not. They're going to defend it with their lives because that's their opinion.
Okay, that is the problem with America.
Right, I'm saying the problem is America's mentality, the breakdown
Their
of the
mentality.
entire structure.
Yep.
Right, absolutely.
There you
go.
And
all of these arguments, like Romney is saying, well, if this is true, it's got a basis in fact. I come from a perspective where everybody always told me I should have been a lawyer because I find those little minutia and I can argue them and stuff like that. So at that level, he's completely 100% right and justified in bringing this up because it's true, right? But and it was a legal thing, the Supreme Court ruling. It was a legal ruling, so he has the right to argue those points. But this is why nothing ever gets implemented, too. Because you're opposed to something, you're going to dig and find that little hang you on a technicality thing. And this is going to be another 4 years in debate now over whether this is a penalty or a tax. And if it's a penalty and not a tax, then what the Supreme Court just did is void and will have to be thrown out and appealed.
Well, it can be void because the Supreme Court put it into the Constitution.
Well, it'll have to be appealed. No, it just ruled it's constitutional. It hasn't passed. It ruled that it can be
my
submitted
bad.
as constitutional. Oh, we're a long way from having it passed and put into action.
Yeah.
And, okay, let me answer you this. Riddle me this, Batman. If it's taken us since the Depression to rework medicine in this country, and now we've just found something that's actually been ruled as constitutional and eligible, why until 2014 does it not go into effect? I mean, why? What's going to happen in 2014? Nobody's going to get sick or die or anything from now to then.
Let's look at political agendas and timelines first. We have to elect a new term. We have to get them into the White House.
But this wasn't a timely dog and pony show, no.
And relaxed and all good, and maybe thinking about things like bringing home the troops.
Yeah, I don't think this thing is ever even going to go any further, even if he gets reelected, because of the timing of it.
Well, whether it does or whether it doesn't, the bottom line is we've really isolated what America's problem is.
Yeah, it's the intellect level.
And it's the attitude.
Right.
I've got family back in Canada that have no children. They still pay their school tax every year. Mm-hmm. In their lifetimes, in their working lifetimes, they have literally handed over tens of thousands of dollars to the government for its school system.
But if they ever
have
kids, they'll go to college.
And that's why when in Canadian newspapers and television news, when we see that Canada has come into the top 5 globally for education and the top 5, actually the top 1 globally for health care, we're all as a nation very proud of that.
Right.
Americans are too proud of a lot of things they don't even know they don't have anymore.
Yeah, I know.
It's all about pride and guns, and not enough about knowing.
Right.
If you were to say to someone, did you know that this law was struck down 17 years ago? No.
Right. Oh, and some ridiculous laws still, too.
Well, I remember back in the 2007 campaign, a news agency, I forget which one, I think it was CNN actually, they went out and did a poll. And they took Obama's platform and stuck it on McCain, and took McCain's platform and stuck it on Obama, and went out and asked the public, actually in New York City, asked them, what do you think about Senator McCain's policy of blah, blah, blah? And they would list off some Obama policy.
That's huge.
Everybody, every single person, nobody that was interviewed had a freaking clue what either candidate's stance was on anything.
No, but because he was either a Republican or a Democrat, that was the way they went. Because it's their.
That's right. It's all perception of the big evil.
That's right. It's that inherent ideology that is prejudice. These are our prejudices. The opinions that are given to us by others are our prejudices. They're not our beliefs. Our beliefs we learned for our own experience and through our own lifetimes, and they come from a place inside that we know is right.
And as a side note, the beliefs and expressions here on Straight Talk in no way reflects those of HTLA 973 or its affiliates or,
especially the language stuff.
Oh, yes. I keep forgetting we're rated mature. I'm sorry.
I know. Sorry. Well, we are syndicated, though. We're not mature everywhere.
You can't bring up Charlie Sheen in politics with me and not expect at least a shit here and there.
I know, honey. I know.
And Eric Bowen. Come on. So, no, I mean, that's a fact. They did that. And the general populace out there didn't have a clue. These are two diametrically opposed platforms, by the way.
Right.
I'd like to just stick that in there.
But all those people that liked the McCain's because he was a Republican didn't even realize they were supporting Obama's platforms. So people don't vote on the issues. They vote on the image.
That's right, and that's why millions of dollars go into every single election for exactly that, the image.
That's right, and I've always been somebody that voted on the issues and voted for the person I thought was right for the job. Even though I'm a Republican, but I voted for Obama last time because I believed he was the right man for the job.
And now?
And now he hasn't kept his promises to me. And I think that we should get
here's,
some Southern matriarch in there to kick some ass.
Here's a question.
What?
Well, we'll get on the horn with Roseanne Barr, and we'll see if we can
She's not Southern.
talk her into
Midwestern, and they're...
Hey, she's
sorry.
an actress. She can do Southern.
Yeah, no thanks.
I don't know, like...
I mean a real one. One of those real Iron Maiden Southern women.
Iron Maiden Southern women? Are you talking about Kevin Spacey?
No.
Ba-dum-cha!
That was cute.
There you go.
All right, well, anyway.
That's his nickname, down at the...
Is it really?
Strasbourg School of Acting there. Old Iron Maiden, yep.
That's cute. No, we love Kevin.
If you think it's cute, you should hear what they call Al Pacino.
Oh! All right. Well, listen, tonight has been intellectually stimulating and fun and exciting.
Uh-huh.
And, yeah, but it's time to say goodnight, babe.
No way. We're done talking straight?
We are done talking straight for this Monday's episode.
No way.
I need to pack for our holiday.
That's right. So until next time, Straight Talkers.
That's right.
What do we got rolling for next week? Is it a special surprise guest?
Well, hopefully our guest will be back from Thailand, and or
that would be good.
It'll be a special surprise guest because we like to keep you on your toes here.
We can tie one on with you next week, gang. So on behalf of myself and Kate and the rest of the HTLA staffers, I'd like to thank HTLA Radio 1 for keeping us on the air, right?
Yes. Good. Yes, please. Theme music would be nice, but...
No, you don't need that. Well, you see, that's the thing. I normally run that and you do the talking, so...
Well, you run that and you do the talking because it's a Independence Day.
Okay,
you can be independent.
There we go. I think I got the right level there. Yes, our third year now. It means so much to me, Tommy, that I'm able to bring you the issues that matter with the people to whom they matter most. A huge thank you to our sponsors and supporters, and of course, we're nothing without you, our listeners. And of course, a big thank you, once again, pulling a fantastic show out of his proverbial behind, my beloved husband that I can now love on Facebook,
That's
Christopher
right.
Crash Jesus Taylor. Be sure to be here next Monday, Meeps, because you never know who's going to show up to talk straight on Straight Talk. To talk straight.
Right.
So take our love with you as you go. Be you. Be true.
And be fierce, kitties. Good night.